Oh, get it. We've got an order. So yes, people, welcome back to Brendan Pearson Fitness. Today, we have got, first of all, bulk order, or well, you can't really say bulk pal, it's bulk now. Bulk order, and I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of my leg day and leg day resolving knee pain, especially anterior knee pain. So a few things that I do, but first, we're gonna open this up and then we'll get into the gym. Wow. Well impressed with myself there. What's in the box? We have got bedtime protein shake. Now this is literally something that I have every single night. I have about 60 grams of it mixed with about 200 milliliters of like oat milk or coconut milk. Mix it up nice and thick, put it in the fridge for a little bit, or then put it straight in the freezer. 20 minutes in the freezer and you've got your nice little dessert. I normally put some almond butter or peanut butter or something on top of it. But yes, it's literally just casein protein. I think it's got other things in like HMB, which is just, what's HMB again? It's got other things in, I don't really actually know what they are, but pretty much it's just casein, end of story. Anyway, so we've got that nice big tub of chocolate flavour. We tried the My Protein version of it and it's just not the same, so bulk's the best. EAAs, now these are not essential amino, well, it's a coincidence. These are not something that I would recommend to everybody. One, because you probably don't need them if you're getting enough protein in. Only reason that I have them is one, it makes my water taste nice when I'm having them intra-workout. And two, because a lot of the time I train fasted and I want to get some, obviously, amino acids in my system to stop any muscle protein breakdown. So I have 15 grams of amino acids. We have the tropical flavour in that. So I ordered a kilogram and they've came in 2 little bags. Then we have the carbs, highly branched cyclic dextrin, literally just a really fast acting carb. I have this now as part of my pre-workout, which I've got in here. I have 30 grams pre-workout, 30 grams intra-workout. So intra-workout's like during my training. Reason is, one, to get more carbs in, because at the minute my appetite's still a little bit shitty, so it makes it a little bit easier to get carbs in. And two, during workout, cyclic dextrin has been proven to help with muscle retention and stopping muscle protein breakdown, so pretty much breaking down your muscle when you're training. And it's just simple, easily to digest carbs when you're training, refuels your, restores your glycogen levels as you train, and yeah, just keeps your energy levels nice and high. So I've got a nice 2.5 kg of that. What else we got? Last one, some whey isolate. Isolate because it just digests better and it's a little bit better quality protein. We have got, I think, white chocolate flavour. Nice and simple order. If you want me to run through all my supplements in a separate video, let me know and I will, because it's been a while since I have. But yeah, that's just a little stock up from bulk powders. Like I said, pre-workout, we've got the Superhuman with a little bit of cyclic dextrin as well, and then we're going to get into the gym and walk through my leg day and how I go about it, trying to resolve my knee pain, work around things. Only hitting one squat based leg day. The other day is going to be more of a posterior chain day. So this is my one leg day a week. So I'm going to go all in and I'm going to walk you through it. Lola, don't want to be in the video. It's the only reason people watch my videos is for you. It's the only reason. They've got to have the weekly dose of Lola. Oh, wait, paw. Good girl. Can I have 2 paws? 2 paws. Good girl. So well trained. Mate, you're going to get a treat for that. Good girl. But yeah, time to get in the gym. Voila. So we're in the gym. Leg day, like I said. Still been suffering with a lot of anterior knee pain. So a little bit of a quick overview of my history of knee pain. What have I had? Right meniscus, lateral meniscus surgery. That was like years ago, but I really suffered a lot with patellar tendonitis. I've ruptured my left one. I have ruptured my left one. I had surgery on that. I had numerous injections. It's pretty much one of the main reasons why I stopped playing football. So really focused on trying to fix them. Still want to try and get a good workout in. Big focus on trying to build muscle today, but also minimizing knee pain, and if anything, helping it. So first thing that I've been doing recently, you can probably tell the pre-workout's kicked in a little bit. I'm a little bit hyper. This little investment, 40 quid off Amazon. It's just, I don't know which one it is. I might put a picture. It was 40 quid off Amazon. So what I have been doing, if I zoom the camera out a little bit. So what I've been doing, if you're someone who has anterior knee pain, which pretty much just means the front of your knee, you're probably going to be really tight in this muscle here, which is your VMO, and your latialis, your vastus lateralis, excuse me, I can't say words. Vastus medialis, vastus lateralis. So you're going to be really tight around there. If that gets tight, it's going to be pulling on that kneecap and probably causing you a lot of patellar pain, either in the middle or just above the knee. So what I'm going to do, it's pretty much just a lazy man's foam roller. So you can use a little hockey ball. You can use one of them, or you can foam roll, but for me, I'm just going to work into these areas either side, literally just maybe like a minute or so. I found it's helped quite a lot, especially when I've started to get a little bit of pain above my kneecap. So this is how I normally warm, especially my sore knee, which is my right one at the minute. So around the top of the kneecap, working in there, and I found that massively helps reduce my knee pain. Sometimes as well, what I've been doing is getting to the bottom of the patella, just where the patella tendon starts to get a little bit soft, so in between where patella's soft and where your kneecap is, and just working in there. So if anybody has ever had shockwave therapy, which kills, it's a similar sort of thing to that, but it's probably like, don't know, 10 times cheaper. So this is what I've been doing, just working around there. If there's any physios or any specialists who are watching this video, am I f***ing my knee up, or am I just hitting it with a vibrating gun? But it feels like it helps. That'll do. So yes, first thing when you come to the gym, foam roll, mobilize the area, which is what we're going to go on to next, which is some stretching and mobility, which I'm a big fan of. If you don't follow me on Instagram, every single morning I'm one of them boring weirdos who stretches for 20 minutes and sticks a podcast on. So yes, you don't follow me already on Instagram, link is down below. But yes, that's enough of that. I've done that twice now, fantastic. Let's move on to some mobility work. Right, so next up we are going to work on some ankle mobility. So a lot of people don't realise this, but tight ankles, poor mobility in the ankles can massively impact your knee. So if you don't have the ability to drive your knee over your toes, you don't have that range of motion, the thing that's going to have to compensate is that knee, and most likely that patella. So stretching off the ankles is massively important, especially if you're an athlete. Anybody who plays football or running sports, you're going to have tight ankles. So ankle distraction, band is going to be attached behind. I'll show you a little video how to put that on afterwards. Going to use a little bit of a box to elevate the foot a little bit, make the stretch a little bit more. And all we're going to be thinking about here is trying to keep our heel down and driving our knees over our toes and trying to get our hamstrings to our calves. For anybody who's had ankle injuries like myself as well, you might have a little bit of an ankle impingement, and this will help loosen that off too. Alright, so next up is going to be our couch stretch, another stretch that you can do beforehand. If you have tight hip flexors, so your tight rec fem, which passes over the hip, and tight quads, that again is going to pull onto that patella around that knee and cause a lot of tension. So stretch off your hips, stretch off your quads beforehand. People say that stretching before workout is going to be a bad thing, but if you have an injury or any sort of imbalances, get some stretching done. As long as you warm up properly afterwards, there's not going to be an issue at all. You don't need to spend too long pre-workout, just maybe 1 or 2 stretches either side. Get a little bit of blood into that muscle, loosen it off and get yourself feeling good. So, back foot, flat on the bench, drop the knee down to the floor, try and get your knee as close to the bench as you can. You can't do this against the wall, which I've put in previous videos as well. Find something in front to support you. All you're going to do is lean forward to get a little bit more hip. So lean forward to really open that hip. Make sure that we're not leaning to the side when we're doing it. Everything stays nice and straight. And if you want a little bit more quad, a little bit more lower down, lean back and try and get that heel towards the bum. I can really feel that across my rec fem, which passes across the hip. So first exercise, we're going to be doing seated calf raise. Now if your gym obviously has a seated calf raise machine, use that, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you're just at home or maybe the machine's taken. You can do it with a barbell and a little bit of a raised platform. So we want to mobilize and we want to strengthen our ankles and especially the soleus muscle. So mobility is a big thing I'm a believer in, and strengthen the calves, which not a lot of people really do, even maybe in a tall lad having the tiniest calves ever. still got to get the work done just to help protect the knee. So we're going to go 3 sets between 15 and 20 reps. We're going to try and push as close to failure as possible on these. Maybe do 1 warm-up set and then get straight into it again, pushing as close to failure as possible. Make sure when we're doing these calf raises, we're getting a good 1 or 2 second count stretch and pause at the bottom. Keep the tension on the muscle. Pause up. Again, 2 second pause at the top. Really control it on the way down. If you feel like one side is stronger than the other, you can do it single leg with a dumbbell or again with a barbell. First exercise in. So in between sets of calf raises, we're going to be working our tibialis anterior. So if anybody follows the knee over toe guy, he's a big believer in strengthening the tibialis anterior, which is literally just that shin muscle that runs down there. If you do a lot of running in football and basketball and stuff or whatever it is, you'll probably get a little bit of DOMs in there every so often. You might feel that tightness. We want to build that strength up in there to help protect the knee. Have a check out with the knee over toe guy. He's a big believer in it as well. He does an exercise against the wall. I do it slightly differently. So I use a resistance band, wrap it round our feet like this. We're going to slide back, sit as far back as we can, let our toes point forward, and then we're going to pull our toes back towards our body. Make sure our legs nice and straight, and you can instantly see all my shin muscles are firing. So we're working our calves over there. That was, I don't know what that was. Working our calves over there. We're working the opposite muscle, so we're working our antagonist, working the tibialis anterior. So we're going to go sets of 20 in here, either side, in between sets of the calf raises. So we're finished with our calf raises, we've finished with our tib raises, strengthening the calves and the tibs. So now we're going to move on to strengthening from the side. So we want to try and cover the knee from all angles. Obviously we've covered from down the bottom. Now we want to cover the adductors and the glutes, specifically the glute medius. So we're going to do a little bit of a superset, just 2 sets in. If you're at the gym, you can use the adductor and the abductor machine. Obviously the adductor is going to be working the adductors, working on that one. So we'll probably do 2 sets of between 10 and 20 reps, which as long as you're in that rep range, you'll be fine, working as close to failure as you can. Then abductors, so pushing away, working the glute medius, same thing, 2 sets between 10 and 20 reps. What we're going to do instead is Copenhagen planks. So I'll show you that in a second, and then lateral band walks to get the glutes working. So Copenhagen planks, all it's going to be is a side plank position. Your leg is going to start flat on top of the bench. Your foot's going to be flat on top of the bench. Elbow's going to start in line with the shoulder. From there, we're going to go up into position and then lift that bottom leg off and try and hold there, keeping the hips up nice and high, back nice and straight. I'm going to aim for 45-second holds. You might need to start for 20 seconds and build it up from there. So if you're struggling to hold that position with a straight leg, you can start in a bent leg position. So all you would do from there is get your shin, your knee, flat on the bench. Again, everything's nice and straight, and just hold that position from there. Once you can do maybe 60 seconds with a bent knee, try and progress to a straight leg. Start at 20 seconds and build up from there. So lateral band walks, I'm going to use a nice thick black resistance band. Again, you can use the abductor machine at the gym. All we're going to do to make it harder, put the band around your feet, which I'm going to do to make it easier, band around the ankles. So band around the feet, start with our feet shoulder width apart, drop into a little squat position. We're just going to take a big step to the right and then control our left foot in without letting our feet go any narrower than shoulder width apart. So big step, little step, big step, little step, all the way until you do 10 reps, or as far as you can one way, and then go back the other way. You're going to do 2 sets of 20 up and down. So the reason we're wanting to get the glutes activated is they help a lot with hip and knee stability. There's been a big thing shown that having strong glutes, working on that glute medius, getting it activated. That's where you see footballers, American footballers, basketball players, loads of athletes do know that glute band work before they're going into football, before they go into their matches, because they know the importance of it for knee stability, hip stability, and all that. So we're going to do 2 sets of that. It also helps keep them knees out to the side when we're squatting and not letting them come in. So 2 rounds, Copenhagen's and lateral band walks. Right, so next up, like I said before, we want to try and protect the knee from all sides, the front, side, inside, and now we're going to work the back. So we're going to really work on our hamstring strength with some Nordic curls. So for this, what you're going to do is either set this up on GHD, a lat pull down, or like I've done, a barbell, and make sure you stick plenty of weight on, at least above your body weight on this, because you don't want that bar going flying. Trust me, I've done that a few times. So set the barbell up, make sure you've got a pad for your knees, a pad on the barbell for your heels. All you're thinking about here is trying to control your body weight down as far as you can, and then trying to pull yourself back up. Again, I'll put a little clip of the knee over toe guy, Ben Patrick, doing it. He's a joke. All the way down, back up. You might have seen a few videos on Instagram and Facebook of people doing it. However, I can't do it all the way down and back up body weight. So what I'm going to do is use a resistance band. So you can attach this to the top of a squat rack. I've just used the beams in my gym in the garage. And that is just going to assist me. I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to control myself as far down as I can, really push my heels into the bar and pull myself back up. You should really feel your hamstrings on this one. Like I said, hamstring strength is massive. Everyone thinks that protecting the knee, having strong knees is all to do with the quads, building strong quads. You need to balance it out. If there's imbalance between quads and hamstrings, then there's going to be weaknesses and instability in the knee. So strengthen those hamstrings up. Anybody who does sprinting events, running events, like football, basketball, sprinting, for example, obviously, hamstring strength is massively important. So if you're getting hamstring pulls, do this exercise. Nordics, knees want to be about hip width apart. Like I said, hold on to the band. We're going to go for sets of 8 on this one. So you might need to start sets of 4, build up. We've got 3 sets, nice and controlled, and explode back up. Ah. I've just walked through this already, but my mic wasn't on. It was over there. Anyway, right, next exercise is going to be our last prehab sort of activation exercise for the knee before we go into our heavier lifting. So we have elevated terminal knee extensions or Podolphin step downs with a band. This is going to really work that VMO muscle that I talked about before, which is going to help massively stabilizing the knee. And it's also going to work that ability to drive the knee over the toe, the strength in that position. Now, if you are someone who does have knee pain, especially around the patella or just above the kneecap, you will probably struggle with these. So what I want you to do is start on a lower platform. For me, I've started on a little bit of a more elevated platform. You can start on literally the thickness of a 20-kilogram plate and just work the range of motion. I'm using the band again to make it a little bit harder and also work that top range of the squat where we normally don't get resistance. If you think about the squat, most of the resistance is at the bottom. Once we get to here, there's nothing really there. The band is just going to force that little bit added tension in that top portion, get a bit more blood in the VMO and get it working. So what it would look like without the band is just, for example, I'm starting on my left side, right foot's going to be straight out in front. All we're going to be thinking about is driving our knee forward, our left knee forward, tap the floor, push back up. So it's just a tiny range of movement. There's no flexion of the hips. So in a normal squat, we would drop the hips back first. There's none of that. We want to really work knee forward, push back. If the heel slightly comes off, that's absolutely fine. Again, with the resistance band to make it harder, band's just going to be around the back of the knee. I'm going to step back into that position, up, and you can instantly see that band's trying to pull my knee forward. In the top position, we want that leg locked out. You should instantly feel that VMO, that muscle there activating, and we're just going to go through the same thing. Drive forward, pause, drive up. So we're not using this leg to boost us up. The heel is just tapping the floor, and we're driving back up. So we're going to go sets of 15 either side. I'll show you a progression in a second. So progression from the last exercise is adding in that decline ball, which is going to force a little bit more pressure on that patella, work on that knee strength a little bit, and it's going to lift our toe up. So it's going to build a lot of strength driving through the toes. People are too afraid to drive their knees over the toes when they're squatting. You should have the ability and the strength to, especially if you're an athlete. A lot of the time, changing direction, that knee is going to drive over the toe. That's where a lot of pain and a lot of injuries come from. So we need to build the strength there. So adding in the decline board, just get this off Amazon. I might put the link in my bio if anybody wants to get one. If you do have knee pain, definitely something you should probably invest in. Right, time for some proper work now. I know that obviously taken a long time to get to this point, a lot of prehab activation sort of exercises. However, if you do have injuries and you're struggling with knee pain, prioritize those prehab exercises beforehand. First of all, gets the knee warmed up, gets a little bit of blood into the joint, into the muscles, a little bit of synovial fluid running around that joint to get it ready to go. Secondly, we're also going to pre-fatigue that quad. So rather than going straight into a heavy back squat, we're probably not going to be as warm, there's not going to be as much blood in that muscle. We're probably going to be slightly, little bit more prone to injury, and there's going to be a lot more load that we can lift in that. However, if we pre-fatigue that muscle, get a bit more blood into it, doing the single leg, Poliquin step downs, fatiguing that quad, then when it comes to doing our heavier stuff, one, we're probably not going to be able to lift as much, but we're going to get the same stimulus, we're going to be working to failure, so there's going to be less risk and less pressure on that joint when we're coming to it. So it's going to be pretty much, there's not going to be any sort of negative drawback apart from a few kilograms here and there, but the priority is get a workout in without aggravating that knee, if anything, trying to make that knee better. So be smart with your training. What we're going to do now, we're going to work a single leg movement before we go into our heavy back squat movement. So we're going to work a rear foot elevated split squats. Now, if you are one of my clients out there, you know how much I love this exercise. One of my favorite exercises, not just for athletes, but for anybody. Unilateral, works each side individually. We're going to go heavier on the single leg movement rather than the back squat, the compound lift, the double leg movement. Reason being, again, less load through the body, less risk, but we can still get that heavy stimulus through the single leg movement. So the way that we're going to work it, literally 2 sets, high intensity training, that's the way that we're working. 2 sets. First set, 6 to 8. That's what the rep range is going to be. So pick your number, pick the weights that you're going to be lifting and try and get as many reps as you can within that rep range, and obviously as much weight as possible. So last week we got 52 kilograms for 7. I think this is only my second time doing this after obviously coming back from being ill. So we're going to try and get 8 reps. If I can get 9, I'm still going to push it. I'm going to go all out to failure. Do your weak side first, going to work that left leg first, and then rest a minute or 2, do the right leg. Give yourself plenty of recovery in between sets on this. Pushing to failure, make sure again, we'll try to drive that knee over the toe, trying to prioritize that front leg, the back leg's still going to be working. Keeping that heel down. Watch for our technique. I've covered split squats. There's an Instagram video, IGTV video when I've talked about technique and stuff, so check that out. Obviously my Instagram link is in the bio. Let's get this in. 1 set, 6 to 8. Then back off set is going to be between 10 and 12, so a little bit lighter, pushing to failure.
To get the fire burning in me,
Right, final exercise. We are on back squats. The reason we're saving this at the end is, like I explained before, we want to have our muscles pre-fatigue as much blood in our knees, in the quads as possible, so when it comes to our heavy lifting, it's a little bit safer on the joints, we're already warm, we don't have to use as much load to get the same amount of stimulus. So, using the heel elevation, the reason being is my ankle So using the heel elevation, the reason I'm using a slight little heel elevation is 2 reasons. One, because I've got longer limbs, makes it a little bit easier for me to stay more upright. The more that I start to lean forward, the more I'm bringing in my lower back, my glutes, my hamstrings. I want to try and emphasize the quads on this specific leg day just for myself. Second reason is I've had an ankle injury, as you might be able to see there, a nice little scar.
Oh, sorry.
So I had surgery on my ankle, so my ankle range of motion is just limited in general. Stretch it off as much as I possibly can, but this helps me a lot and also stops any knee issues that I get on my right knee. So that's the reason that I'm using it. You might want to use it yourself, but you might not have to. If you can get used to not using it, or maybe even using squat shoes instead, then that's absolutely fine. We've built up, I've done 2 or 3 warm-up sets. Gonna go to our top set between 8 and 10 reps on this one. Rest as long as we need, and then we're gonna do a back off set of 12 to 14. Come on. Last set of the session. We're going for it. 5. Fuck. Oh. Leg session done. I would usually maybe finish off with a little bit of metabolic work on the assault bike. Last time I done 5 rounds, 30 seconds, max effort, legs only, 90 seconds rest. But one, I missed the meal today because I'm just making excuses up in my head, aren't I? Okay, come on, let's do it. Oh, I need another minute. That is the dog's kicking off, hang on. That is the closest I've felt to being sick in a long time. I'm not last. Dog! Never mind. That is the closest I've felt to being sick in a long time. My legs just love burning. Doing them sort of intervals on your assault bike. Short bursts, 20, 30 seconds, give yourself plenty of rest. The lactic acid soon builds up. So anyway, my camera's about to die. That is my current leg day, rude. Anyway, that is my current leg day, trying to sort my issues with, it's patella tendonitis, that's pretty much what it is that I've had for years. Obviously I had a rupture in it, so that is my current leg day. Took a little bit longer than I wanted today. However, take your time with your rehab, with your leg days especially. If you want to try to get bigger legs, leave about 2 hours just to make sure you warm up properly, get that mind muscle connection with your quads, with whatever you're prioritizing, hamstrings, glutes, whatever it is. Make sure you warm up properly. Do your pre-rehab stuff if you have injuries, mobility, all that stuff. Leg day is probably one of the most important days to warm up properly and get a good session in. But yes, because the fact that I've only got 1 day leg day at the minute means I'm just putting absolutely everything in it. So it's a lot of mental, rather than having 2 leg days or 3 leg days knowing that I have to recover. I can just put everything into that one session. The high intensity approach is great as well because obviously it's less repetitions, less volume in terms of repetitive strain on your joints. You're just going for that one all-out set, trying to focus on fatiguing the muscle more than anything, not about how much you lift. So yes, before my camera dies, that is it for the session. If anybody enjoyed the video or wants to ask me any questions regarding exercises or anything, comment down below or drop me a message on Instagram. All online coaching and one-to-one PT inquiries are down below. Got a few new spots just came up. So if you are in Newcastle, Crampton, Northumberland, whatever, anywhere close to where I am, message me if we can organise. Never mind, camera died, but what is the bonnet doing? Oh my God. Anyway, wrapping up the video on the iPhone. Sorry if the audio quality is shocking, but yes, thank you very much for watching. Like I said about before, online coaching, one-to-one PT inquiries down below. It's been a pleasure. Remember, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, the podcast process as well. Gonna do a few more episodes on that. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Over.
To burn is all I need.